breaking down the nation's top 12 quarterback recruits on the Portal Podcast.
Locked On presents The Portal, the daily podcast covering college football recruiting and everything NIL. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back into the Portal Podcast, where you get your daily recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. I'm Brian Smith, longtime college football writer and recruiting analyst. Thank you for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. We're going to be talking quarterbacks from start to finish today. It is the first in an installment about position breakdowns and their rankings, starting with quarterback and going all the way until we get done with the defensive backs. And quarterback, this is the group I've probably seen the most from a national perspective. Living in the South, I get to see a lot of camps, combines, and just incredible high school football. But Elite 11 helps me, Under Armour camps, you name it. I've been very, very fortunate. With that in mind, any kid that I have not seen, I will let you know if I have not seen them live. Now, let's talk about a few of the overview points. What do I look for in a quarterback now with the game of football changing so much, mobility being more important, throwing off platform, and just being able to think on one's feet? Well, there are a lot of things, but it still comes down to one key ingredient. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it over on the right with my little tab. It's the very last part of it, talking about what quarterback upside do you have? And that's something we'll get into a little bit more. But first thing, just accuracy. This isn't something where I'm going to try and reinvent the wheel. Are you accurate? Because if you are not, there's only so much a quarterback coach can do. Sure, they can tinker with your ability to throw a football from different angles and get a consistent angle, all of that. But there is a feel to throwing a football and putting it where it needs to go. Some guys have it and some don't. Beyond that, yes, mobility, absolutely a big part of it. Knowing when to throw it away. As Nick Saban used to say, it's okay if it ends on a field goal, extra point, or a punt, talking about a drive. Do not throw the ball to the wrong team. I agree 100% with Coach Saban. So turnovers, the type of plays that you will get yourself in trouble with, do you avoid those? These are some of the key ingredients. And then it's just some basic stuff too, like arm strength, like Jared Curtis, who I'll talk about today. He's got one of the strongest arms I've ever seen in high school football. There are many, many traits we can go into, but again, the physical attributes are just part of it. So let me address the upside part. This is where I look at a player from a perspective of, do they like to study film? Do they like to look at the game from a broad perspective? Not just, hey, can I go make a play? A guy like Jonas Williams, man, phenomenal athlete, but he can also, if he's not making guys miss before he throws a pass, sit in the pocket, be patient, and throw it down the field. If you can't do that, you're not going to be on this list, and you certainly won't make it long-term regardless of where I have you. You must be able to make plays from the pocket, even when the other team knows it's an obvious passing situation. That is the end-all, be-all with quarterback play, because third and longs, teams that have quarterbacks that make those kind of plays are generally the ones that make it deep into the college football playoffs as well as the NFL playoffs. It's no coincidence. So let's get started on a few different traits. I just wanted to talk about a few things that I liked after I get going through the list. These are the 12 guys, and then the traits. Might as well get it all out there, and then I'll give you my rankings at the end of the show. First off, when we look at the list here, this, what I'm about to give you, is in no specific order. I'm just going to name the player and where they are from. No more, no less. So again, there is no specific order here. Bo Bentley, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Salina, Texas, just outside of Dallas. He's very unique on this list because last year was the first time that Bo had a chance to start. It's a very good program, but he led him to a state title, had over 50 touchdowns combined, running and passing, over 4,000 yards. Like, he is a unique football player. Looks like it's LSU or Oklahoma for him. He is a great player. Dia Bell, this is a kid that I've known for quite a while. His father, Roger Bell, played in the NBA for a long time. Ironically, he was a defensive mercenary. He took the ball away from guys where Dia wants to distribute it as a football player. 6'3", 205, plays with one of the best programs in the country in American Heritage. He is a distributor, but he is more mobile than he's given credit for. We'll talk about that a little more today. Landon Duckworth, Jackson, Alabama. They won a state title last year. This is a kid that is mobile. He has the ability to throw the deep ball. He will make you miss, so be careful if you want to blitz him. Tremendous upside with Landon Duckworth. Ryder Lyons, Folsom, California, one of the best programs in the state of California. He was born to play quarterback. This is the kid that probably has the most already made for play kind of situation. Like he's not just good at what he does already. It looks like it's easy to him from the pocket, whether he has to slide, anything. Ryder Lyons just looks comfortable every time he's out there. He's probably the most ready to play right away. But it's interesting with Ryder because he's going to do a 1-year Mormon mission. So we'll see what that does for his recruitment. We'll talk a little bit about that during the show. And we're also going to talk about whether or not that really changes the rankings. It is a unique scenario. He's the only one that I know of on this list that's going to take a mission. Jared Curtis, as I spoke about just a minute ago, Nashville Christian, 6'3", 225, 230 pounds. He has one of the strongest arms I have ever seen. He is a big-time player committed to the Georgia Bulldogs. Jonas Williams, mentioned him a few minutes ago. He's from the Chicago area. He plays at Lincoln Way East, just outside of Chicago. He's around 200 pounds, a little over 6'1". He's going to go out west, play for USC, although he's going to stay in the Big Ten. This is a guy that really fits what you think of with Lincoln Riley's offenses. He can be a showstopper. Could he win a Heisman out there? Absolutely. But he's a guy that's still got to learn just like everybody else, and his upside is through the roof. Noah Grubbs, 6'3", 205, Lake Mary High School in Florida, committed to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Probably one of the better pocket passers in the country, extremely accurate and just very consistent. He's a young man that has also really improved his diet and his workout. He is ready for the next level mentally. He's one of those kids that kind of like Ryder Lyons, that I wouldn't really call him a guy that struggles with any one thing. He can move, or he can play in the pocket. He can go out and get you 5-10 yards on a scramble. He just looks comfortable playing quarterback. He was born to do it. Darian Coleman, Orlando Jones. This is a kid that is a little bit undersized, but just completely dynamic. 6'1", 165 pounds, and one of the livest arms, one of the most quick and accurate releases you're ever going to see at any level. Darian Coleman. He is a lot of fun to watch. Jake Fett. This is a kid out of the El Paso area, so a lot of people don't get to see him. I mean, El Paso is almost in New Mexico, but that doesn't mean that Arizona State, LSU, and a whole bunch of other programs didn't go after him. He is committed to the Sun Devils, but that has not stopped LSU and other programs from coming after him. 6'1", 190 pounds out of Del Valle High School. Luke Fahey, 6'1", 195 pounds out of Mission Viejo, California. He's got a state championship. He understands what it's like to play in a fast break kind of offense. He can slow it down. He can take off with his legs. Very, very well-rounded. Probably not enough respect around the country. Keyshawn Henderson, Legacy School of Sports Sciences, just outside of Houston. That is about as an elite an athlete as you're going to find. He could play corner. He could play free safety. He could play receiver. It doesn't matter. But he's got a live arm. He loves quarterback, and he has taken humongous steps forward. Keyshawn is an intriguing prospect in any way, shape, or form that you look at it. Also going to be talking about Faison Brandon. Some have him as the number one player in the country. 6'3.5", around 200 pounds, out of Grimsley High School in Greensboro, North Carolina. Absolutely, just like Keyshawn, he could play other spots. He could be a free safety, a receiver, whatever you wanted. But he is a quarterback, and he is headed to the University of Tennessee. I don't think I missed anybody, so let's kind of dive in here. Again, just to reiterate, what am I looking for? Accuracy is number one. You got to be able to make some plays with your feet, even if it's just moving a little bit. And you also need to find a way to make plays above the shoulders. Those guys that don't turn the ball over. Again, if a series ends on an extra point, a field goal, or a punt, it's okay. That's not my rule. That's Nick Saban's. I trust him more than me on this. But obviously, don't turn the ball over. Guys that understand it, that have the moxie to know when to go after a big play or not. That's what we're going to be talking about. So when we come back, I'm going to break down my top 12 guys in order, and I'm going to give you a little bit about each one of those. That is next here on the Portal Podcast. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Let's get started with number 12. I've got Jake Fett. He is from Del Valle High School out in Texas. This is a kid that, again, underrated. He's one of the very few on this list that I haven't seen live, and I really wish I had. I love his film. He makes plays with his feet. He doesn't really put the ball in harm's way that much. And most importantly, as I said at the top of the show and have repeated it, he's accurate. He puts the ball where it needs to be to give his receiver not only a chance to catch it, but to do something with the football thereafter. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's not small either. I'm curious to see what ends up happening with him after a year, maybe 2 years in Arizona State's weight and conditioning program, because he could be a guy that maybe runs a little bit more. I'm not saying he's going to be running quarterback power every other play, but he's not small. Again, right now, this is a kid that's listed around 190 pounds. If he could get up to 210, 212, he's got enough mobility to be annoying as it is. But adding a little more power, a little more durability, that's a young man that's going to break a few more tackles, and the accuracy will be even more important at that point because he's going to get out of situations and be able to give his receivers more time to create separation from defensive backs. Also, this is a kid that's got some moxie. He doesn't just give it away with where he's going to go. He'll look off the safety, and then he'll look down the field, look him off, then go back over to the other side or hit a check down, whatever it is, to give his guys more opportunity. He's pretty savvy. That never goes out of style. So Arizona State won with a lot of that last year. They had a lot of moxie as a team, and Jake Fett will fit right in with the Sun Devils in Phoenix. Next up, this is a kid that I know well, plays for California Power 7-on-7, Luke Fahey. He's also a guy that, man, if you talk about a good football program in terms of historically, Mission Viejo is on the south edge of Los Angeles. It is always good. Always. The Diablos are one of those programs that just find a way to be consistent, have been for 30 plus years, and probably a lot longer than that. It's just from the time frame that I know it. He understands what it looks like to play big time football, game after game, and be in the state title hunt. And he's also a guy that, just kind of like Fett, if you allow him to, he'll take off. Now, he's probably even more mobile, and he's a kid that's playing in LA, so I'll give him the edge there. But if Fahey can just get more weight and continue to move up the ladder in terms of just getting stronger, he's already more advanced in terms of above the shoulders than most guys. Very smart, very easy-going player. Really, really like the ability for Luke Fahey to be a kid wherever he ends up, and it's probably going to be Indiana or Stanford unless something else comes up. One of those two schools is going to get a multi-year starter in Luke Fahey. Next, Noah Grubbs comes in at number 10. He's going to play for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 6'3", 205 out of Lake Mary, Florida. He is arguably the best pocket passer on this group just in terms of accuracy. He's certainly right in that group for not just throwing it on the money, but again, just consistently. If you watch his motion, and I've seen him at multiple camps, I've seen him throw it around all over the place, Elite 11, different places. It's the same thing over and over again. He understands what it looks like. He's got a tremendous quarterback trainer in Balin Trejo, and he's also got the ability to run a little bit more than you think. I don't think many people really understand that he's pretty mobile now. He changed his diet, for one. And shout out to Noah. Balin will talk to you about this if you ever get a chance to meet him or you look him up, because he promotes his guys a lot. But he was right around 220, 225, dipped down to 200. And Balin will talk about this again, but he looks different. He moves different. He has more confidence. I would be very surprised, very, very surprised, if he's not a guy that ends up rushing for several touchdowns at the college level. Now, I'm not saying he's going to take off like Riley Leonard did for Notre Dame. Don't get it twisted. But as Balin and other people would tell you, he's got the ability to move the pocket, get outside the pocket, run waggle, run bootleg, run some draws, and be annoying. But it still comes down to the main two things with him. The ability to be accurate, be consistent with that, and then above the shoulders. He's not going to just throw it away. He'll throw down the field, take some shots. But Noah Grubbs is very consistent. That's what Notre Dame's offense wants. He is a great fit in South Bend. Next up, number 9 is one of the most dynamic guys. This guy's absolutely going to kill you with his legs. Landon Duckworth. It's maybe the most interesting recruitment left on this board. It's certainly up there because he could go several spots. Landon is from Jackson, Alabama. He's a basketball guy. He can break your ankles on a football field or on a basketball court. 6'3", 190 plus pounds. He's got a state championship ring. He will probably be more dangerous if you blitz him. I would play zone and mix up coverage against him, especially at the high school level. But this team's loaded, so good luck to those squads again this year. They might even be better this upcoming season than they were last year at Jackson High. I'm just curious to see how much he progresses from the pocket this year. He got a lot better from sophomore to junior year. Can he take another step forward? Because if he does, he can challenge for top 3 status overall nationally. The athleticism for Duckworth is insane. So this is one of those true dual threat quarterbacks that, to put it in perspective, he could play for Rich Rod at West Virginia. He could be that guy. But right now, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Florida State, Auburn, those are some of the teams involved. He was involved somewhat with Georgia at one point, but obviously they got Jared Curtis. I don't know where he's going to go, but Ole Miss is probably the most likely. Next up, Diabella, number 8, American Heritage High School down in South Florida. Does he have the ability to throw it around? Yeah. Does he have the ability to run? Yeah, he's got some. Got hurt last year towards the end of the year. His team still won state. Heritage is always loaded. But he's a kid that's ready to come back, and he started throwing. He was ready to go. Gets into February, March. I've heard some good things about where he's at. Now I'm curious to see how he can do this next season. He's getting a chance to go back and get a state championship. I'm sure it would be motivating. I mean, getting hurt in the playoffs sucks. It's unfortunate for Dia. His dad takes him all over the place to get him the best training possible. And he's also been able to go around to a lot of different schools and pick Texas early. He's going to be a horn. He fits Steve Sarkisian's offense well. Much like Noah Grubbs from the pocket, this is a guy that's going to pick you apart. He's got enough mobility to make it really annoying, and he's done it at the major high school level. Like American Heritage plays big-time football week in, week out. That's an edge for him that I think most quarterbacks can't put in perspective. What it's like to get rushed every day in practice is one thing, but it's still not getting hit. Playing the schedule that Heritage does, you're going to see a lot of athletes. You're going to get hit quite a bit. And Diaz used to it. That's going to aid him when he goes to play in the SEC for the Texas Longhorns. Number 7, this is another guy that is very mobile. Love his arm strength. Jonas Williams out of Lincoln Way East, just outside of Chicago. It's going to be a USC Trojan, 6'1.5", 200 pounds. Love his ability to throw it down the field. But it doesn't matter if it's clean pocket, on the run, if he's throwing the football going across the field, if he's running a poke, doesn't matter. He understands when he needs to take something off of it or really let it rip. Either way, he's good. Jonas has the kind of ability to end up in the Heisman race within Lincoln Riley's offense. Talent is there. Now it's just a matter of going out there and learning the scheme. Physically, I'm very much impressed. Now, he plays pretty good high school football, but it's not quite the same as, say, South Florida or Dallas, something like that. He's dominant right now, and he should be in Chicago, but I'm curious to see what else he does this year, and hopefully for him, he doesn't have to run around quite as much. He was running for his life quite a bit last year, but man, can he spin it. Jonas Williams is a big-time player. Number 6, Darion Coleman. Maybe the most intriguing guy on this list overall because he's 6'1", 165 pounds. You got to be like, wow, he's too small. Not many guys are going to catch him. He's very, very mobile. He has one of the fastest releases in the country. Balin Trujillo is going to tell you the same thing about him as he would about most of these guys that he's seen or coached. He's just got an incredible arm. He makes the plays. Even when you don't think he can, They want to tell you he's got as much upside as anybody he's coached. He's coached a ton of guys down in Florida. So I lean on him on that. And I've seen Darion since he was going into ninth grade. I love the way that he throws the football, especially off platform. It's just fun to watch. Just from a football fan perspective, yeah, he's accurate. Yeah, he's got some moxie. He'll take a few chances. But it's kind of like a shortstop going into the hole and throwing across his body and getting a speedy runner out at first base. He has a twitch to him to get a pass off when the pressure is at its highest. Darren Coleman gets it done. The Jones High School standout in Orlando, Florida is a unique player. I get he's small. If he was 205, he'd be the number one player in the country, probably. The biggest question for him is, can he take the pound? He's still got to add weight. Darion knows that, but he is an elite player. When we come back, we're going to finish up with the top 5 quarterbacks in the country here on the Portal Podcast. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and taking control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. It's easy to collaborate with your partner as well. Instead of keeping all your capital in different places, you can track your personal accounts, set goals, and more under Monarch Money without all the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Now the top 5 quarterbacks in the class of 2026. Number 5, we have Bo Bentley. Salina, Texas, 6'1", 200 pounds. As I said in the opening, announcing these players, this is a young man that can really throw it. He can run it. But the intriguing part is he didn't even get a chance to start until his junior year of high school. That is really rare for a guy as talented as him. Now, Salina is an elite program in the state of Texas. They won state under him first year. But that also brings up who's got the most upside and all that. You could certainly bring him into that conversation for the highest ceiling, and he will take off. Much like Darion Coleman, they're pretty much the same player. He's just a little bigger. He's also a guy on the run, is as accurate as it gets. Those are two guys that are probably just the most fun watching them run and then make a pass. Like DB, linebacker D, and thinks, oh, he's going to take off. Right before they get to the line of scrimmage, they'll zip a pass. Bo Bentley, and again, I really like Darion Coleman in the same area. They are magnificent. So here's the question. Does Bo Bentley take another step forward? I don't really know how he could based on his stats, but maybe it's from the pocket. Maybe it's not sliding out. There are a few plays that I watched. He left the pocket early, even though the protection was good. Like the clock started going off a little early. Just little things like that. That's the difference between winning and losing in an elite game. You bring your eyes down just for a moment. Even for a couple plays in an entire season, it could be the difference between a touchdown and winning a game or not. But man, what an athlete. And first year, I mean, you win a state title in Texas. That's pretty impressive. LSU or Oklahoma for him. I think it's going to be the Sooners, but we'll see. Next up, number 4, Jared Curtis. This is the hardest one out of this entire list to grade. If you want to put him number 1, totally cool. The only question I have with him, and it's something he even told me about when I met him last year, he plays 1A football down in Nashville, Tennessee. He's just not going up against the same levels like Diabell or even Bo Bentley, etc. He's playing small school football. He's a dominant physical talent. I'll go over that in a moment. The only reason I don't have him like number 1 overall, because physically he's got everything you're looking for. 6'3", 230. Arm is insane. It's the strongest arm on this list. Just hasn't played as good a competition. That's it. Now, when I say arm strength, he made one of the best passes I've ever seen at a camp or a game or anything else when I've scouted. Last spring, not this spring, but last spring at Under Armour, Nashville, it was a low snap, and he had a pattern that he was supposed to throw on and out. I happened to be standing on the sideline right where the ball was going. The ball was low and just a little bit to the right of Jared. Now, he's right-handed, but he just bent down and underarm, basically submarine to pass to the sideline to the guy for a completion. It looked completely awkward, and he still had the arm strength to do it. And it was a windy day. Like everything was against him, and he still was able to complete that pass. That's one of the greatest throws I've ever seen. He's also a guy that will throw it on time, on a post, a deep route, a comeback. It doesn't matter. The arm strength won't be a problem. The bigger thing with him is probably, at least occasionally, taking a little bit more off of it. He's the kind of guy that's a closer in baseball, throws 98. He has a hose. Now, again, he's 6'3", 230, but do not discount him as an athlete. I know it's 1A competition, but if you want entertainment, if you throw on his huddle film from his sophomore year, he was already making guys miss and throwing it all over the place. We'll see how much he adapts. He's going to Georgia, so it doesn't really get much more high level. But if he adapts to the level of competition, Jared Curtis could be the first pick in the draft when he decides to come out. It's up to him. He's just got to learn the schemes and all the different things that go on in major college football. Physical tools are incredible. Number 3, Faison Brandon, Grimsley High School, Greensboro, North Carolina. Much like Jared Curtis, this is a young man that has all the physical tools you're looking for, but in a little different way. He's not as filled out, but he is a freak of nature just playing football in general. If you said, would you take Faison Brandon as a free safety? I would say yes. Receiver, 100%. Doesn't really matter. 6'3", 6'4", lateral quickness for days, twitchy, and the ability to get through the hole and put a boom on somebody if you want to run lead or counter, quarterback draw, any of that too. But the arm strength and the ability to throw it with a feathered touch occasionally too is also present. Just an incredibly gracious young man as well. Had a chance to be around him a few times. Really like his personality. Faison Brandon's the kind of guy you want your kids to hang out with. That will help him in the locker room. And yes, it also helps him with this ranking. Being popular in the locker room, especially as a quarterback, is a big deal. I don't think he'll have any problems there. He's committed to the University of Tennessee, and I expect him to sign with the Vols. And he could be a kid that ends up starting as a freshman or redshirt freshman. Would not surprise me. He will be the most physically gifted kid on the roster, just about regardless of position, from the day he arrives in Knoxville. And again, off the field, personality, interviews, all that, he's exactly what you're looking forward to. And yes, that definitely matters. Now, number 2, this is a guy that I think is the most ready to play in year 1. Caveat, he's not going to be available. He will be on a mission. That is Ryder Lyons. Ryder Lyons is from Folsom, California, just outside Sacramento. Tradition-rich program. He just moves and acts in a way, the moxie that he has, doesn't matter what drill, doesn't matter what's going on in the game, doesn't matter what you ask of him. Everything is natural to Ryder Lyons. He has the highest floor of any quarterback in this group. No question, in my opinion, it's probably not that close. Like, he has been born to play quarterback. He's the most comfortable in his skin, in the pocket or outside. He will take off and run. He's fast. And he's also up to 225 pounds. He was 200, 205 last year when I saw him at Under Armour Miami. He's put on the weight, and he still looks great. And he's a guy that the passing hasn't changed. If you want to run RPO and put him on the edge, good luck tackling him. And if you take away his options to use his feet, he has a deft touch. I think Ryder Lyons is as accurate as it gets. Him and Grubbs, probably the 2 most accurate quarterbacks in the pocket. And I also think they're the guys that you would think of traditionally from an NFL standpoint, just old school NFL quarterbacks from that perspective. But he's more mobile than Grubbs, and he's a guy that has pretty good straight line speed. Really, really good football player. BYU, definitely in contention. Again, he's LDS, so that's certainly a possibility. Michigan, Ole Miss, Southern Cal, Oregon. His recruitment is really wild, along with Landon Duckworth, probably the 2 most intriguing left now that Jared Curtis has decided on Georgia. And number 1, I've got Keyshawn Henderson out of Houston, Texas. This is a kid that some probably don't like the pick, but I look at this from a couple of different perspectives. Plays at Legacy School of Sports Sciences. He, a year ago, I wouldn't have said was going to be a good quarterback in college. He's taken one of the biggest leaps in a year that I've ever seen a quarterback take. His motion's more consistent. His velocity's better. And he's way, way, way more accurate. And it looks like this just flows for him now. much more comfortable. But if you wanted to put him at corner, receiver, or free safety, much like Faison Brandon, he would be as good or better than pretty much anybody in the country at those three spots. His twitchiness at 6'3 plus is insane. Keyshawn is a freak. Now, much like some of these other kids, he's a great guy to be around. Players gravitate towards him. He's easy to get along. He wants to see his teammates successful. These charismatic parts of playing quarterback are why I think he's as good or better a bet long-term as anybody else on this list. As I said a minute ago, though, if you wanted to put Jared number one, if you wanted to put Ryder number one, if you want to put Faison, any of those are there. But now that Keyshawn is truly concentrating on quarterback, I just think he has the highest ceiling. I could be wrong, and he may not work out because, again, quarterback above the shoulders is where it really, really matters. I'll take Keyshawn as my number one guy because Keyshawn Henderson has the ability to make all the throws. He's got a strong arm. He's accurate. But if you blitz him, that's probably the easiest highlight reel for him to make. A guy will think he's getting ready to smoke him and won't physically touch him. He's that twitchy. He's like a slot receiver at 6'3", 190. It is insane. We'll see if he sticks with Houston. That's the school he's been committed to for a long time. Other schools are still coming after him. I personally think he's going to stick with them, but I imagine he'll take a visit or two. We'll see. But Keyshawn Henderson is absolutely, unequivocally an elite athlete, and I think he's as good a player as there is in the country at making plays with his feet, just like he is with his arm. So for me, he's the number one quarterback in the class of 2026. Thank you once again for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to get all your latest recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. We will see you again soon here on the Portal Podcast.